Shalom Israel. All praises to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. I pray that this video will be edifying to your soul, edifying to your bones, and edifying in general. So I'm just going to get right into it, right? Kind of short on time, but we're going to get right into it through the Spirit. All right, so this is the book of Judges, chapter 7 and verse number 1. And it reads, Then Jerubbaal, who is Gideon, right? So just want to establish some context on who Jerubbaal is. That's Gideon, right? A righteous man that the Most High put the Spirit on to lead the nation of Israel, to be a leader over them, right? So let's go to Judges chapter 9 and verse 1. And Abimelech, the son of Jerubbaal, went to Shechem, right, and to his mother's brethren. So he went to his uncles on his mother's side and communed with them and with all the family of the house of his mother's father, saying, Speak, I pray you, in the ears of all the men of Shechem, whether it's better for you either that all the sons of Jerubbaal, which are 70 persons, which is 70 people, reign over you, or that one reign over you. Remember also that I'm your bone and your flesh, right? So Gideon, he had 70 sons because he had a lot of wives, right? Now this specific son, Abimelech, was through one of his maids, right? So he's going to his mother, that maid, he's going to his uncles, right? Her side of family, saying, look, would you rather that all 70 of me and my brethren reign over you, or would you just want me to reign over you? Right? He's conspiring against his own brothers, right? That's what he's doing. All right. So now verse number 3. And his mother's brethren spake of him in the ears of all the men of Shechem all these words, and their hearts inclined to follow Abimelech, for they said, he is our brother, right? Let me get that quick precept on that. He said, for he is our brother. This is Genesis, the 29th chapter, and verse 14. And Laban said to him, Surely thou art my bone and my flesh. And he abode with him the space of a month, talking about Jacob, right? Just to go to show you that it's hip talk, you know what I'm saying, my bone and my flesh, like my kinsman, right? How Jake say, you know, that's my blood, or, you know, that's my kinfolk, or that's my flesh, right? That's my seed. So back to Judges chapter 9. Now let's go to verse number 4. And they gave him 70 pieces of silver out of the house of Baal-berith. Now Baal-berith was, I believe, a god of the Philistines, right? A god of the Philistines. And they gave him 70 pieces of silver to represent all 70 sons of Gideon, right? So heavy idolatry. It says, wherewith Abimelech hired vain and light persons which follow him. When it says light, is it talking about, like, you know, they don't weigh that much? Or, yeah, like, I mean, that's really the only context for light. But what it's talking about is light-minded, as in they're not really an intellectual person, right? They're not a spiritual person. They're someone that's carnal, that's of the flesh. They're not someone that's going to give you good counsel. So he basically went to yes men, right? Got him a little entourage. Verse 5. And he went to his father's house at Ophrah and slew his brethren, the sons of Jerubbaal, being 70 persons, upon one stone, right? So he killed them all, and he put them onto, like, he buried them all at the same place. He didn't bury them necessarily, but he put all the corpses into one spot, right? Like, let's say that, I don't know if you can see it, but that pole right there, let's say that's the one stone. Put all the carcasses on that stone. All right. But it says, notwithstanding yet, Jotham, the youngest son of Jerubbaal, was left, for he hid himself, right? And all the men of Shechem gathered together in all the house of Milo, and went and made Abimelech king by the plain of the pillar that was in Shechem. Verse 7. And it was told to Jotham he went and stood in the top of Mount Gerizim and lifted up his voice and cried and said unto them, Hearken unto me, ye men of Shechem, that God may hearken unto you. The trees went forth on a time to anoint a king over them. And they said unto the olive tree, Reign thou over us. Now this is going into how when this a similitude of how man is likened into trees. Just how like in that one account when Yahweh Shai healed that man from being blind, at first he said, I see men walking as trees, right? But then when he did it the second time, he said basically it went back to him seeing men walking regularly as people, right? Also goes into how it's Matthew 12:33, either make the tree good and his fruit good, or else make the tree corrupt and his fruit corrupt, for the tree is known by his fruit. So Gideon, being a tree, he had some bad fruit, right? Being Abimelech, because he slew all his sons, right? Can't find that account in Matthew, but you get what I'm trying to say, right? Also, that's also I think in Ezekiel the 33rd chapter about the cedars of Lebanon and things of that nature. How ultimately, you know, that tree was Adam, who was the chosen Adam that the Most High put to till the land. All right, let me not go off on a tangent too much, but Judges 9:9. But the olive tree said unto them, shall leave my fatness, wherewith by me they honor God and man, and go to be promoted over the trees. And the trees said to the fig tree, come thou and reign over us. But the fig tree said unto them, should I forsake my sweetness and my good fruit, and go to be promoted over the trees? Then said the trees unto the vine, come thou and reign over us. And the vine said unto them, shall I leave my wine, which cheereth God and man, and go to be promoted over the trees? Then said all the trees unto the bramble, come thou and reign over us. And bramble is it's like a shrub, usually of something of like the blackberry family, something of that nature. And the bramble said unto the trees, if in truth ye anoint me king over you, then come and put your trust in my shadow. And if not, let fire come out of the bramble and devour the cedars of Lebanon. Now therefore, if ye have done truly and sincerely, and that ye have made Abimelech king, and if ye have dealt well with Jerubbaal and his house, and have done unto him according to the deserving of his hands, for my father fought for you, and adventured his life far, and delivered you out of the hand of Midian, and ye are risen up against my father's house this day, and have slain his sons, 70 persons upon one stone, and made Abimelech, the son of his maidservant, king over the men of Shechem, because he is your brother. Basically saying, look, if you feel like in your heart, if you feel like what Abimelech did, if you feel like y'all helping him, what y'all did was a righteous act, then let him be your king over you. Let it be. It is what it is. If you think that's such a righteous act, if you believe that in your soul, just let it be, right? We'll deal with that, right? Let's keep reading. This is verse 20. But if not, let fire come out from Abimelech and devour the men of Shechem and the house of Milo, and let fire come out from the men of Shechem and from the house of Milo and devour Abimelech. And Jotham ran away and fled and went to Beer and dwelt there for fear of Abimelech his brother, right? When Abimelech had reigned 3 years over Israel. So the subject matter of this video is judgment catcheth up. Judgment catcheth up. Right? So 3 whole years went by after Abimelech slew all the house of his brother. All the house of his father. He slew all his brothers except for the youngest Jotham. 3 years have went by. Let's get this quick precept. And Sirach 11:21. It says, marvel not at the works of sinners. What Abimelech did was an unrighteous act. It was a sinful act. It was a sinister move, a sinister conspiracy to kill all his brothers and take the rulership over Israel, right? It was very, very sinful. Marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in Yahweh, right? What did Jotham do? He trusted in the Most High, right? He didn't say, you know what? Let me just let my wicked brother reign over me. Let me go sacrifice unto Baal. He didn't do these things. He trusted and had patience in the Lord. In this particular context, for 3 years. For 3 years, he trusted in the Lord, right? He trusted in the Lord all his life. But I'm saying in this specific matter, he trusted in the Lord for 3 years. Marvel not the works of sinners, but trust in the Lord and abide in thy labor. And thy labor, right? That labor is believing in the Most High. That labor is still preaching the word of the Most High, right? It says, and abide in thy labor, for it is an easy thing in the sight of the Lord on the sudden to make a poor man rich. It's an easy thing, right? On the right-hand side for the Lord to do that, right? Now, just to go deeper on it, you know what I'm saying? That's why people that sell their souls predominantly in the music industry, the acting industry, when they do these sacrifices, is because they want overnight success. Even that movie Sinners, I can't forget the main character's name, but the kid that was playing the banjo or the guitar or what have you, he, in real life, who was based off of, they were saying that he literally was an overnight sensation. He was an overnight success. As if he sold his soul to the devil. And he even has a song about that, if I'm not mistaken. You're going to look this up. This is history. This is facts. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. And people oftentimes regret it. But at that time, it's usually too late. Because you sold your soul to the devil. You wanted the riches of this world, right? You didn't stack up heavenly riches. But back to on the right-hand side, right? Jotham, he trusted in the Lord, and he didn't marvel at the works of the sinners. Let's go back to Judges 9 and 21. And Jotham ran away and fled and went to Beer and dwelt there for the fear of Abimelech his brother. When Abimelech had reigned 3 years over Israel, what happened? Then Yahweh sent an evil spirit. And that this also goes into that the Most High controls good and evil. It didn't say Satan. Satan didn't send an evil spirit. Satan didn't send an evil spirit. A lot of these Christians will tell you that Satan controls the left-hand side. No, the Most High controls everything. He controls everything. They like to tell you that Satan controls the left-hand side, that he controls evil spirits. No. We're clearly reading Judges 9 and 23 out of the KJV. Matter of fact, let's get this in the GNT. In the Good News translation, Judges, the 9th chapter, and verse 23. It says, then God made Abimelech and the men of Shechem hostile to each other. Did Satan make these men hostile to each other? No, the Most High did that. Right? The Most High did that. You know what? Let's even get let's get the NLT. Let's get the New Living translation, right? Judges chapter 9 and verse 23. It reads, God sent a spirit. It says God sent a spirit that stirred up trouble between Abimelech and the leading citizens of Shechem, and they revolted. So again, the Most High sends evil upon the earth. Judges 9 and 23 from the KJV. Then Yahweh sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the men of Shechem, and the men of Shechem dealt treacherously with Abimelech. Right? Then it says that the cruelty done to the 70 sons of Jerubbaal might come, and their blood be laid upon Abimelech their brother, which slew them, and upon the men of Shechem who aided him in the killing of his brethren. Right? And the men of Shechem set liars in wait for him, in the top of the mountains, and they robbed all that came along that way by them, and it was told Abimelech. Right? So the point is, judgment will catch up to you. It took 3 years. Right? Abimelech thought it was sweet. He thought he was going to reign forever until the day he died. Right? It took 3 years for the judgment of the Most High to happen to him. So don't marvel in the works of the sinners. Right? And I'll even tell you a personal account about me when when I went back into the world doing things that I wasn't supposed to be doing, having a vehicle that I had no business having. I didn't know at the time, but I got literally robbed at the car dealership by how much I was going to be paying a month, to the point where it got to a point where every time I would leave out an establishment or even out the crib, right, I would be looking for the damn repo man. I'd literally be looking for the repo man, like, damn, like, and I had a bad habit of forgetting where I parked because I would always be in a rush. So every time I come out, also, like, damn, like, they got me today. They got me today. I don't even see the car. And I see the car, hurry up again that joint and drive off. Until one day, right, one day I got into a car accident, which could have been very fatal, given a few, I don't say a few, maybe 1 foot, a few inches of how the car got hit, right? Almost got T-boned by some old Ishmaelite. Just some, like, you know, rib pain and almost fractured, things like that. But the point is, the Most High took that burden out of my house, right? Out of my life. So it's two things. The first thing is, judgment caught up to me after a certain amount of time. The second thing is, the Most High showed me that I can be poor in an instant. What I mean is, after I lost that car, even though I was already behind on payments and the repo man was after me, I lost that car, and ultimately I lost my job, right? I had to walk everywhere that I had to go, or try to get a ride or get an Uber. And again, not having a job, right? It was hard. I barely had money. You know what I'm saying? So I'm walking everywhere. You know, this lasted for months. You know, then there half a year. You know what I'm saying? But the point is, judgment will catch up to you. And secondly, the Most High can easily take you from a high state and bring you to a lower state to humble you down, truthfully, right? Righteously. So, Lord willing, this video was edifying to you. Stay tuned for more. I'm still trying to knock the rust off this car and get things moving into full speed. So please be patient with me. All praises to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Shalom.